Man, it's nice doing comedy in London, though. All my comedy friends, I'm going to call you, my comedy friends. I'm sure they get to try out their material at work and that, which is nice. I can't do that. I work in a primary school. Never try sitting down a bunch of 6-year-olds like, hey, kids, who's on Tinder?
Drink the milk tea. Put that straw in your mouth and suck. I know you will believe me. Let China change your mind. The cup has the world inside. You better drink it now or you will get deported. Come and drink the milk tea. It's amazing, whoa!
And they tell you teachers, don't they, the Duke of Edinburgh Award is a great thing to have on your CV. It sets your CV apart from the rest. Does it? Because I have never been in an interview where we come to the end and they've gone, well, unfortunately, Philip, we won't be taking this application through to the next stage. For a start, you turned up 20 minutes late today, and halfway through the interview, you seem to become completely distracted by these shiny stress balls on my desk. This hasn't gone well, and to be honest with you, I see absolutely nothing on this CV that could possibly redeem you. Oh, hang on. What's this at the bottom here? Duke of Edinburgh Silver? Good God, man, why didn't you say?
Hi, I'm Marcus, and I'm the idiot on the comedy circuit. I've asked a group of comedians some questions on how to start and succeed in the world of stand-up comedy. Subscribe to this channel to see what their answers were, as well as to chart my progress on stage, be it crushing or crashing. More likely the latter than the former. You can also follow my progress on social media. I am ION Comedy on Twitter and ION Comedy Circuit on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Here is today's video.
I think going, so as you mentioned, they're going from 5 to 7 to 10. Those are big markers. And yeah, you have to be honest with yourself as a comic because about when you reach that point, because if you can do 5, you can do 10, but doesn't mean it's a quality 10. You might be filling them out with a bit of fluff. So it's about having a 10-minute set that you're confident that you could walk into a comedy club and it would blow the audience's minds. That's kind of where you need your club sets to be. Whether it's 5, 10, 15, 20, you want it to be consistently good throughout that set, not sort of filler. So those are big markers. I think probably your first paid gig, that's definitely a big moment, I think, in most comics' life, the first time they get offered that. There's other moments, things like competitions. There's quite a lot of comedy competitions and new act competitions. Those can help people's comedy careers. They're not the be all and end all by any means, but they can definitely help. And then I think probably it's about when you then start getting gigs in the big clubs. So again, if usually with clubs, they'll offer you usually what's called a middle spot, an open spot in the middle, which is usually about 10 minutes. If you do well at that, then you progress to kind of being to opening, which would be a 15 or 20-minute set to open a night. And if you do well at that, then you end up progressing to headline clubs as well, which is where you want to be. And in terms of like doing your own show, there's no kind of set rule to this, but generally speaking, a lot of comedians will do what we call a split bill. So you might do a show with 2 or 3 other comics where you split an hour and you take that to a festival. And that helps for lots of reasons, especially sort of financially as well, because it's very expensive to do these festivals. So if you go up with a couple of comedian mates and you can split an hour between you and it all do, let's say, 20 minutes each, that helps. And then that gives you, I guess, the experience of actually putting on a show, knowing how to market it, knowing how to set up, knowing what's a good room, what's a bad room, all that kind of stuff. And then from there, people go to doing a 45-minute show to then an hour show, and that's generally the progression. Like I say, there are people that just go straight in and do an hour, but generally I find it's better when you kind of work your way up to that and learn all the kind of technical aspects of putting on a show as much as getting the material together.
That is a good question, because I think the early currency with comedy isn't pound sterling. It's laughter, it's the dopamine hit you get after a good show. Like, obviously you feel incredibly bad if it doesn't go well. Sometimes you just feel okay and maybe you want to do it again, but when it goes well, that high, that feeling is incredible, and it's an addiction, right? And if you are well and truly addicted to comedy, where it's something that you want to do, like the road to paid gigs, or to which is effectively comedy clubs, isn't it? Because they're the gigs that pay, or paid gigs. I think is doing it pretty much every single night. I think that even at the start you've got to be a bringer for other people. Great, well, be a bringer for other people, but try and get out there every single night. If you're well and truly addicted, if it's something within you, if you're because even when you're not doing a gig at night, you're thinking about a gig, or you're thinking about what gigs are on. It's an addiction. You've got to be extremely committed to it. I think that the road to it, well, there's a few, isn't there? So you've got gong shows as well, which is a way that if you win that, and so I saw you interviewed Dane Buckley, who is an absolute king of gong shows, absolute demon at gong shows, and now I've seen that he's getting club work because of that. So there you go, that's a perfect example. But that's not the only route as well. You can also go outside of London as well, where you can do longer sets and also get paid a tiny bit of money, which is usually just enough to cover your travel expenses, but then you'll be on the bill with professional comedians doing middle spots, just doing 10 minutes and things like that. So building your setup and basically just keep going and keep doing it, basically. Not that I'm getting paid at all to do it, but at all, mate. But so I think the idea is that at the moment the currency isn't money, but I know, but there is a route. I mean, there was definitely a time a few months ago where I thought that there wasn't, where it was never ending, and maybe I can see it a bit more now. But I think a key is maybe going to watch shows as well. I think helps. Just go, if you want to perform at a comedy, your favorite club that might be top secret or go and watch a show there on a Saturday night or a Friday night and envisage that. What are they doing? You envisage that, right? Or if you want to create a really great hour-long show for a festival, go and watch something at the Camden Fringe, or go up to Edinburgh for a few days and watch it and envision it and think, what am I doing? And you can see there clearly that there is a path to do it somewhere.
You know what, it's tricky. I don't think there's any clear-cut path. I think, if I'm honest with you, I feel like I started getting paid for gigs a lot sooner than I should have been. I feel like there's people overestimate and undercut the graft that goes into it. You should really be going for a long time before you start, getting paid for doing it, because ultimately, I don't know. But then there's that everlasting question of I see some people go but you're an artist, and regardless of how good you are, you should get paid for your time. And I think there's an argument to that too. But I don't know. I feel So, for example, London gigs, there is a big surplus of comics, right? So you've got, if you're not getting paid for a gig and you're I want to get paid, they're well, we've got 700 other comedians here that will do this gig for free, so we don't have to pay you. And it's okay, so I'll do it for free then. But as soon as you come out of London, you start so I'm originally from Kent. I'm actually in Kent at the minute. Come down for my birthday with my mum, legend. The weighted hula hoop is around somewhere. I don't know where it is. But I've come down to Kent, and one of my first paid gig is outside of London. It was in Kent. I got offered a 10-minute spot, and it was a bucket split, I think. And I remember feeling it was so alien. I was like, you're paying me to tell jokes, and you have no laugh. This is the biggest hack ever. But I think it is just one of them, mate. I don't know if there's this clear-cut path. I think I've got to a point now, I'm very sort of lucky, but to find myself in that situation. But I'm just I work hard. I really try my best every gig to just keep getting better, and prove to people that I deserve to get paid for this, because I've put on a really good show and they had a good time, and this is what happens when you put me on, I suppose. So it's hard, mate. It's hard to say there's a path, but I'd say if you just keep pushing to get them longer spots, travel outside of London, prove yourself that you're not just funny in a little open mic circuit gig, that helps to get offered those kind of opportunities. And then when you get offered the opportunity, just go in with your best and be like, and then get asked back. And I think, yeah, but I don't know. I do feel like I got offered it early. Definitely got offered it early. But I've just tried to, you know, like, act like it's not early. You're like, no, it's all right. But in your head, you know that like it is what it is. You just got to try and do your best in the gig provided, I suppose.
And that was today's video. Don't forget to click subscribe and hit the notification bell to be prompted when a new video comes out. And don't forget to follow me on social media, ION Comedy on Twitter and ION Comedy Circuit on Instagram, TikTok and Facebook. Okay, bye-bye.